Fancy something a little bit out of the ordinary? Then how about the Mazda 3, because it'll certainly stand out of the family hatchback crowd on account of its sporty looks. This theme continues here on the inside with some nice racy instrument dials and a driving position which is, well, it's nigh on perfect. It doesn't matter if you're big or small because it's easy to get comfy in the 3 because you've got height adjustment on the driver's seat and you can also alter the steering wheel for rake and reach. Mazda is one of the most generous manufacturers in terms of standard equipment levels. I mean, even entry-level Mazda 3s come with DSC anti-skid control and head restraints which move forward in an accident to prevent whiplash. And as for engines, well, the only one you really need is the 1.6 litre diesel because it's both punchy and economical. On a twisty road, the 3 feels a little bit more sporty to drive than some of its main rivals. I mean, the reason for that is the steering is sharp and direct, the gearbox nice and positive, and the suspension is pretty firm, which means you can kind of fling it at corners. However, there is a trade-off for that firm setup, and it means that the car can kind of jolt and bounce a bit over potholes, which means ultimately the 3 isn't as comfortable as, say, a Skoda Octavia. And it's not actually as quiet as one either because you get quite a lot of tyre roar, which means that on the motorway you end up having to turn up the stereo quite a bit to drown out the noise. As for other negatives, well, getting into the back can be a bit awkward at times because the wheel arch sort of gets in the way of your legs, which means to get in, it's best if you pirouette. And once inside, well, it's not small, it's not as spacious as, say, a Ford Focus, and it can feel a touch dingy because there's not much glass area, and so the materials feel a little bit cheap. Also, well, the boot is a decent size. The rear seat backs don't fold down completely flat, which could be a bit of a pain if you like carrying large flat pack furniture about. But you might be willing to overlook these shortcomings on account of the fact that the Mazda 3 is pretty cheap to buy, it's cheap to run, and it'll hold its value well come resale time. And of course, like I said at the beginning, it certainly stands out.